What's going on, world? It's your boy Market Omega back at it again this Friday with another weekly recap. I'll be going over the trades from this week, so without further ado, let's go. All right. So to start off, if you've been sleeping under a rock, you know that the elections have been going on. Right now, come on, guys, it's a foregone conclusion. Biden's going to be the president. Just from the vote tallies and everything, and it just kind of seems like he's heading in that direction. He's like knocking on the door of the White House at this point. But I told you guys, I've been telling you guys the last few weeks that honestly, it didn't matter who the president was going to be, whether it was Trump or Biden. I still felt that the market was going to continue onwards. The last 4 or 5 videos I've done, I've talked about the same points. This market is going to go up. It wants to go up. Don't fight the trend. It's just going to go up. And I'm still holding on to my calls. Bear with me 1 second. Let's see. What's that here? I'm still holding on to my calls, guys. Holding on to these calls. And, regardless of what happens, worst case scenario, I'm just gonna roll it over to December. Okay, it expires at the end of this month, but worst case scenario, I just roll it over to December. But I still think that we break this level and we just keep going up. In my opinion, that's what's gonna happen. I just feel like this market is just gonna continue onwards, continue on that same trend. And plus, if you look at the chart, right? If you look at the SPY. Here you go, guys. It's forming a nice, sweet double bottom. This is beautiful, man. It doesn't get any clearer than this, honestly. It's a nice double bottom forming. It breaks this level, boom, we're off to the races. So I think that the market is going to continue onwards. I'm just going to hold on to my SPY calls. And, worst case scenario, if I'm bleeding on the premiums, I'll just roll it over to December. But between now and December, I think we take out the highs, and we're probably sitting at like 380s or something. Okay. All right. So that said, man, this week, the start of this week, I actually thought it was going to be choppy and no volume. And if you go on the 2nd, where was that? The 2nd of November, which is a Monday, I didn't even trade at all. So I came into the market. I didn't see anything. There was really nothing that was running. Everything just kind of had this standstill, deal. And the ones that actually moved, they moved in a range of like 10 cents, 15 cents, 20 cents. I don't know about you guys, but I don't make my money in those ranges. I want to see some kind of momentum, some kind of movement. So where was that? APT, AMPC. I think that was the one. That was the stock that ran. That was the stock on the gap scan on Tuesday, and this was so low volume. It just died out right here. I just left this alone. I left it alone. I didn't trade, and that's the thing. Like whenever you don't see, volume or you don't see momentum or something like that, just it's best you just step away. You can come back the next day. A lot of times, if you see volume and momentum, then you have the edge. Okay, you have a slight edge. But when there's no volume, these algos are just going to take over. They're going to stop you out, especially if you're trading with size. They're just going to fake you out left, right, and center. So, So I didn't see anything. This was just crap. So I just left. Now, on what was that? The 3rd, which was on Tuesday, right? Yeah. So on Tuesday, we started to see more momentum come into the small cap market. So Tuesday we had APVO, right? So I traded APVO on Tuesday. Now, so where was that? The 3rd, which is right here. Okay, so how did I trade that? So the first thing I did, I took a short on it. because, well, for one, it was ETB, right? It was easier to borrow, so I didn't have to go out there and try to locate shares and stuff. I mean, a lot of you guys that know me know that I'm a long bias trader. You know, I trade long about 70% of the time and short about 30%, right? And when I do short, it's, I want to see if it's ETB, then, I'll take a short. I'm not going to go out there and try to locate shares and go through all that hassle like you guys. I mean, you guys that are short, congratulations. And if it's working for you, just keep on, right? I'm not saying there's a right or wrong way of trading, but me personally, I'm long biased. If I don't see a nice, clean, long setup, I'm just not going to take it. If I see a nice short setup, then I'll take it, but I'll only take it if there's if it's easy to borrow. So APVO was easy to borrow, and I basically shorted it out the gates, and that was my plan. Because for one, a lot of these stocks, the last few weeks, I just showed you guys AMPC and I think DBVT. And, a lot of them were just kind of open and crap, right? It was like a gap and crap. They were open and then maybe spike a few cents and then just fade off. So, APVO, that was my game plan coming into the day. And, when market opened, I just didn't want to just short it blindly, right? I wanted the tape to kind of give me an idea of what's going to happen, and I was watching it, and it kept rejecting this. Kept rejecting this level. It's popping. It just didn't hold the 780s, so I basically shorted around there, and I just kind of covered on the way down. Right, I covered. Now, I still kept this stock on my watch list. Right, I still had it on my watch. So what happened was, it started towards the close of day. It just started popping. There was a lot of volume on this thing. Right. So I was like, okay, now psychologically, right? You have to think of the psychology, the psychology of the markets, and before you take a trade, you kind of should gauge, okay, what's really going on, right? Who stands to hurt more and who stands to gain on this trade? So this thing is popping, right? It's popping towards we're heading towards the power hour, and it starts popping on huge volume. It's just going up, right? So I'm watching this. Automatically, I'm thinking the people that slammed lows at this point, they're the ones that are trapped right here, right? If you're shorting at this point, you're getting trapped, right? And a lot of people, they got, the last few weeks, shorts have gotten complacent. They just slam lows, and the easier trade has been to the short side, because a lot of these stocks, they just, they gap and crap. So, there's a tendency to be more complacent whenever there's a trade that's been going in a certain direction for a while. So when I saw this thing popping, I'm like, okay, a lot of guys are going to get squeezed. And I wanted to take advantage of that, being that I'm a long bias trader. So I looked it up, and, it's formed this nice cup and handle pattern right here. If you see that, it's a nice little cup and handle, right? So I saw this. And that's, you could use this right here. This was the handle. Nice cup, nice handle. Got long, boom, scaled out. And I knew that this thing had the potential to keep running. I mean, for one, obviously it's a low float. For two, the shorts are trapped in this. You can't tell me you automatically just switched biases, just because this thing started popping. I mean, if you were short, there's no way to just automatically just switch your bias to long. You're still going to be thinking, okay, well, this thing is going to crap. This is just a temporary pop, maybe some short cover or some froth news or something like that, and it's going to fall back. No, they're going to add. Psychologically, they're going to add. Right? The thing, it's the same thing. I mean, just flip this concept on the long side, right? If you're getting stocks that are just popping at the open, and then, maybe they dip and then it pops some more, right? A lot of longs are going to try to get in on the dip thinking, okay, well, we're going to continue onwards, right? And then if it tanks, they stop out or get blown up. So this is what's going on the short side. And I wanted to take full advantage of it, also considering that we're, headed into power hour. So, got in, made a, nice chunk of change over there, and got out. Okay, so that's basically that trade. And then let's see, another trade was SAVA. That was on I think that was on the 4th, right? So let me where is that? Right here. So SAVA was clean, man. I loved the way SAVA traded, right? Even though the float is higher, but the stock traded a lot cleaner than I expected. And then, basically, I got SAVA on like an ABCD setup, right? So let's see. So right around, let me take this line off so you guys can actually see, right? So if you could take a look right here, it's sort of like an ABCD setup, okay? So let's put this right there. Come on, right there. This is just beautiful. This is a nice, orderly, clean mover right there, right? And I think I got long the 20s. I got long somewhere around here in the 20s, and I just scaled out. This is beautiful. This is a nice, clean move. You didn't get like pop, drop, chop, chop. No, it was clean. It's just nice, orderly. And that's the thing. Like, if you're a long bias trader, you kind of want to see a nice, clean, orderly moving stock, right? A lot of guys, if you can read tape, if you're looking at the tape and it just seems like there's a lot of games that's being played, and the market makers are really playing games with the stock, and you see like dilution, like it pops up and then it just gets slammed back down, and then it pops up, gathers some shorts and then rips and then slam. You don't really want to see that. It's, if you're trying to take a long trade, but you want to see a nice, clean, orderly move, and that's what happened right here. We got this nice move. I got long right here. Boom, scaled out, easy peasy. Easy trade, okay? And then also, where's the other one? If you take a look, right? If you zoom out some more, I mean, it's like a larger, let me take this line off here. A larger, right, ABCD setup. I mean, this is a nice, large ABCD setup. And because it broke out, I'll show you guys right here. You can do this right there. It's a nice little ABCD setup, right? You get that break, and once you get that break, boom. There's the high right here, right? So put that right there. So you get that break, bam, all the way up, and that's how you can make the money. So basically, got long right here, scaled out. I came back here, got some longs, scaled out as well. Beautiful, easy trades, man. No hassle, no headaches. I didn't have to go out there and locate. I didn't deal with short sale restriction or whatever. I just came in, made my money, and got out. I think DRAD was another one. So let me see here. So I think DRAD, that was another stock. I don't even remember if I took the stock. I have to go back and look. But there was a double bottom. Where was that? Where was that set up? Yeah, that's right here. So DRAD is a nice little double bottom right there. I think I took a trade right. I don't remember exactly the rationale for taking this trade around the open. I really can't remember. I have to go back and look at my notes. But I know I took it here somewhere, and then I took another trade right here on this double bottom right there, and then I just kind of scaled out on the move up. It was a nice little wallet pattern scalp trade right there. All right, so we had KXIN, right? KXIN, that was yesterday. So KXIN, I mean, this is a stock that, it's been a mover in the past, right? So my goal, it's moved in the past, right? But my strategy coming into trade the stock was, I was just going to trade it if a nice setup presented itself, right? Or, I was just gonna get in and get out, smash and grab. I wasn't gonna hold this. Why? Because there was a lot of bag holders on the stock, right? People they've lost money from the long side. They're just gonna want to get out on every pop. Okay, so that's the thing. They got a lot of bag holders in the stock. It's been running the last few weeks, man. So, I mean, there was a time when it went all the way up. Let's see, where was that? Man, it went all the way up to $14, right? So the people that bought around here and lost money on the tank, they're gonna want to sell at every chance they get, right? So my goal was just basically get in, get the money, get out. So I took this in pre-market. It was a very, very beautiful setup. So let's see, right here, bam. It's a nice ABCD setup, man. You can see that higher lows, subsequent higher lows, higher lows, holding above moving averages, get long, bam. I think I got long like the 460s, and then scaled out all the way to like the 530s. I mean, it was a nice, clean mover right there. And no hassle. I wasn't complaining. I didn't care about locates. I didn't care about none of that. I just took my money and got out. Okay. So that was it. That was the trade right there. It was a nice clean setup, and it just stuck out to me, right? It just clean. It was really clean. So just got in right there, and then got out. No need to overstay your welcome, because I knew that there was a possibility that this stock was just going to open and tank because of the bag holders on it, And sure enough, bam, open, pluck, all the way down, no hope, right? So, got the opportunity to the upside and then step away. All right, so today ACB, that was well, actually, here's the thing. So we had ACB as a gapper. We had ACB, we had FTSI, we had MOGO, SMLP, and then this was ONCT was a continuation from yesterday. Yesterday we had it was running, so this was a continuation. So my main setup was ACB, right? That was like my main watch. And why? Why was ACB my main watch? Well, it's basically, ACB is a cannabis stock, right? And, with the way the elections are going, it kind of looks like the Democrats are going to, Biden is, it kind of looks like he's going to take the presidency, right? And obviously the Democrats control the House, and then, for the Senate, it's a toss-up between the Democrats and the Republicans. They're still counting the votes right now. So, there's this notion that, Democrats, they're more, they favor more cannabis legalization, or at least the criminalization of cannabis. So, a lot of these stocks are starting to pop. They're pricing in a Biden presidency, right? So they start popping. So ACB, I think Tilray popped as well, but I didn't take Tilray. Let me just take a look at Tilray right there. So yeah, Tilray went nuts. It just went freaking crazy. I didn't take Tilray, man. I left Tilray alone because, for one, I heard about it, after market opened. Like, somebody was like, "Hey, Tilray is running," but for two, I was like, man, I have Tilray fatigue. Okay, I've traded Tilray months, year. I think I traded Tilray last year, made money, and traded Tilray a few times this year, and I just think, like, Tilray is like one of those stocks that could have a bunch of bag holders as well. So I just, I think I felt like there would be more games on Tilray than ACB. So I just left Tilray alone. But so the first, I took a trade on ACB. I got in at the pop. I knew this was going to run at the open, man, because just watching the tape in pre-market, right, every dip was getting bought up. Right? It just kept getting bought up. And it was kind of orderly. And, although it was a high float stock, I tend to stay away from high float stocks, but this was just too good to pass up. I just had a feeling that this stock was going to go nuts. It was going to go nuts. So, basically got long, scalped it on the move up, and then just kind of sat on the sidelines. We just waited for a nice setup. And then we got a setup right there. Let me show you guys. 1 second. So right there is an ABCD setup. Like, see that? So series of high and lows forming. And I like the pattern. I got in right here. I think I got in somewhere around here, right? And the stock just kept like dancing around after I got in, just, wasting my precious time. And I just, I knew this thing was going to go. Like, yeah, you could do all that stuff, dance around, blah, 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 but you're still going to do what I want you to do. Or what I think you're going to do. So anyway, got in, and it was, I was watching the stock, and got long and scaled out on the move. And I got almost, I think I got almost about a 60, 70 cent win from this. And then I left. I didn't trade any of this right here. I just kind of left because I had stuff to do. I had errands to run and all of that. So I got the move, got the pop, made money on the stock, and then just called it a day. It was a nice, clean setup right there. It's a nice ABCD formation right there. So guys, like, the thing is, if you're trying to get into a trade, right? One of the things I suggest is, and this is really hard to do, by the way, right? Just kind of if you don't see a setup that's like jumps out at you, right? If it's not a setup that you can actually just see it and it's like, okay, this thing makes sense, don't try to force a trade. Don't force a trade when there's no trade because you might get chopped up and, you might get faked out. Don't force a trade, you guys know, like I'm a bull bias trader, so I have a few strategies that I utilize, right? And I deploy the strategies based on the setup. Okay, so I wait for the setup to form, and based on the setup, I can deploy whatever strategy that's in my arsenal. Whatever I feel like using, I use it. Make my money and get out. So don't try to force a trade, right? If you don't see a trade, don't try to force it. Plus, today is a Friday. A lot of times, with Fridays, there's not as much momentum on Fridays. Plus, people are out for the weekend, or if it's like a 3-day weekend, holiday or something like that, they're gonna leave a lot earlier. Okay, they're gonna leave a lot earlier, so you see less volume on that. So. My game plan was just basically to make 1 or 2 trades, literally 1 or 2 trades, and then head out because I don't want to be stuck with the Friday headaches. Okay, so that's that. As you guys can see, it looks like November is off to a great start. November, December, we usually have a lot of momentum in small cap stocks. Small cap, micro caps, you can come in there, make some money. And this is a good time to grow your account. So if you have a small account or something like that, or you're looking to get started, you might want to, I think this could be a great time for you to fund that account and see how you can take advantage of the momentum. So historically, we have momentum, November, December, more so December though. December is like, when it goes crazy, but November, December, all the way to about April. You see stocks, these small cap stocks, having legs to the upside and with a lot more volume than they normally would have. Okay. So that's that. You guys have been great. That's a short recap of the standout trades that I took this week. And also, feel free to follow me on Twitter at Market Omega. I post my trades. Well, I post my my ideas on there. Post a watch list, and typically talk about anything from stocks to cryptocurrencies to sports and just life in general, right? And feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And turn on post notifications so that you get updated every time I upload new content. Okay. And finally, subscribe to madassmoney.com. The link is in the description below. And when you subscribe or you're in the chat, look for Market Omega. I'm in there. I post my trades on there all the time, well, almost all the time. And, feel free to hit me up if you have any questions or, if you have anything that might interest me. All right. You guys have been great. Have a wonderful weekend. Take care of your family, and I'll catch you next week for another weekly recap. Take care.